Hey guys, my name is Michael. I'm with Single Minded Games, and I'm here to tell you about Sovereignty of the Sun Warmind. This is just going to be a quick tutorial video to tell you about the different card types, so let's jump into it. In the upper right hand side we have the planet. The planet is the most important card in the game. You're going to be playing with the planet card every single game. The planet card is set in an area between the two players. And players are going to take their soldiers over here and deploy them. They're going to set them adjacently to the planet. If the planet can be dominated by one player, meaning that a player has more of their soldiers directly adjacent to the planet than their opponent does, then that dominating player is going to score 2 victory points. And after 10 points, a player wins the game. So dominating the planet is very, very important. The planet's got 2 different sides. We have the purple side here, purple and green, and we have the orange side. That's not so important. It's just an aesthetic thing. It's just to kind of break up the monotony of having to look at the same planet over and over. I personally like the orange planet, but play with it whichever side you prefer. Over here we've got our soldiers, and there's really 6 different types of soldiers, I guess, but the 2 main types are your commander, which is a special soldier. We'll talk about her in a second, and your normal soldiers. And normal soldiers can be indicated by their little colors up here. Commanders always have white at the top. Commanders are special because every deck must include only one commander. No more, no less. Commanders always start the game on the field adjacent to the planet. And commanders can never really die. When a commander is killed, it's just returned to its owner's hand, and it can be played back out just like any other card. Commanders have 3 different values here. They have their ration costs. Rations are like your resources. They have their rank. That's just their military importance. And they have their power. Power is their fighting strength. Commanders always have neutral power, and neutral power is white with some gray indicators on the side. And usually commanders, they have a special effect. Every commander's got their own effect, and they can be pretty game altering if you use them properly. Over here we've got our normal soldiers, and we've got 5 different colors of normal soldiers. Yellow, green, purple, blue, and red. These colors create a rock, paper, scissors-esque mechanic. In that when a color fights another color that it's sort of pointing at, it gains power. Let's talk about that for a second. So this is a yellow soldier, right? He has a power value of 5, and his color is yellow, but on the top and bottom edges, we can see that there's a red indicator here. This tells us that when this yellow soldier fights a red soldier from its top or bottom edge, this yellow soldier is going to gain 1 power. If it fights a purple soldier from its left or right edge, then it's going to gain 1 power. However, if the yellow soldier fights, say, a blue soldier from one of these edges, it's not going to gain anything. If it even fights a red soldier from its left or right edge, it won't gain anything. So the game is really very much about moving your soldiers around to get into that best position, to increase your power, if only by 1, so that you can score the kill and then take over the planet. You can dominate the planet. Over here we've got our 2 other card types, our strongholds and our supply cards. Strongholds just give passive benefits. They're set over to the side. They've got a ration cost, and they also have this value right here called a territory limit. Territory limit just tells you how limited you are in playing a certain number of strongholds. So every player will start the game with 5 territory limit. And once they've maxed out at 5, they can't exceed that. If they do exceed it, then they have to destroy old territories. So this stronghold is already at a territory limit. It's already at the territory of 2, which is, almost halfway to the limit, right? And then this is the supply cards. Supplies are really cheap when it comes to ration cost, but a lot of supplies have what's called delay time. Delay time basically prevents a card from being used for a specific amount of turns. So this one has 3 delay time. We would put 3 delay counters on it when it came into play, and that would tell us that we have to wait at least 3 turns before we can fire this card off. And delay counters are removed at the end of your turn. So you don't really have to do anything additional once a supply card comes down. And supplies usually give you really strong one-shot effects, but sometimes you have to wait for it.